Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Cyber Chat. I'm Dr. Emmanuel Edu, and I'm going to be your instructor for tonight, as usual. I appreciate everybody's time. So, as we are beginning, I would love for everybody to put in the chat where they are joining us from. And tonight is going to be a very informative discussion, as usual. And we are going to be looking at some of the highest paying cybersecurity certifications, and then also, how to go about these certifications and what they really mean to your career as a security professional or as an aspiring security professional. So if you are new to the Eretmis family, you are welcome. We encourage you to participate and contribute as we are going along. And this is an open forum, so we encourage everybody to participate and share your knowledge as well. We are here to learn from each and every one. So, but if you have a comment, if you have a question or a contribution, kindly raise your virtual hand and we will allow you to, have the floor and, give your take on whatever we are talking about. So you are welcome once again. We are starting time now and we are transmitting on YouTube as well. And we will begin time now. So tonight's topic is the highest paying cybersecurity certifications in 2024. And you are welcome to Eretmis Academy. This is the platform that is bringing you Cyber Chat every Friday night. And like I always say, you could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here to share the knowledge and to be part of the family. And we appreciate that. And we will make sure by the hour or so that you spend with us, you are really going to gain something. At least you are going to gain something new for your toolbox. I'm Dr. Emmanuel Edu. I've been in the IT space for over 24 years about now. I'm a former United States Army captain. I'm a QSA, and I'm the owner of a QSA company, cybersecurity PCI QSA company. And we also do cybersecurity consulting in other cyberspace. And a former professor at University of Maryland Global Campus and CTC as well. And I'm the founder of Eretmis Academy as well. So before we begin, Eretmis Academy is an authorized Comptia partner. And what does that mean to everybody on here and the whole entire Eretmis family? You get 20% off for exams vouchers. If you want to take any of the Comptia exams, you get a 20% off through us, right? And this is only for Comptia. The other certification bodies, they don't offer 20% to their partners, and I'm not sure if even if they do that for students or whichever category of group that you find yourself. So, but Comptia does this. They do the 20% for their partners, and then also if you're a student and you like Comptia has a student version of their vouchers, so you can purchase that also and get a discount as well, right? So a lot of folks have been reaching out, asking us about how to renew their certifications using cyber chats and similar webinars. And we've gone through this a couple of times, and we are going to go through it tonight, also to help, spread the word and also just to share more light on this. So if you have any certification, cybersecurity certification or IT certification, there are two ways that you can renew your certification after 3 years, right? Every 3 years, you have to renew your certification. So either you are going to go by, resitting for the exam and, taking it and passing and getting certified, or you can use what we call continuous education points or continual education points to recertify. So you don't have to sit for the exam, but you can submit continuous education that you've done over the period of the 3 years, and they will use that to certify you, so you don't have to resit for the exam. Now we are going to look at one for Comptia. So all the other certifications they do this, but we are going to look at for Comptia. You can use webinars that you attend, like Eretmis Cyber Chat. There are a couple of folks on here who've used this to renew their Comptia certifications. So for Comptia, if you go to their website, you see this button right here for add your CEUs. That is your continuous education units. And when you click on that, it should take you to this page and you can submit webinars, right? Like it says here, you can submit webinars towards your RE certification, right? And I think you need 10 CEU points for renewal. And if you are using this and you click on accept activity, it will bring you here where you are going to select attended a webinar, live webinar, and you are going to use this. So enter the webinar name and all that in there, and you'll be able to use, if you do 10 of those, you'll be able to use that to renew your certification, right? So hopefully this is clear. And for everybody who will still want to get some insight into this, if you Google Comptia renewal, certification renewal, is going to take you to this page, and you'll be able to walk yourself through exactly how to go about it, right? So for everybody who is new to the family, we have a WhatsApp group that you can join. Invitations for our different trainings and also for our Friday cyber chats are all posted in there from time to time, and there's always some cyber news conversation going on in there as well, right? So you can join. We are almost 940 in there, so it's a pretty good group, good WhatsApp group, right? Unlike other ones that people are posting all sort of stuff on there. Here it is really regulated, so if something is posted on there, then it means it deserves your attention, right? So you can join this group to learn more in the cyberspace and to grow and to network. And then also for our YouTube channel. So we appreciate everybody for the support for our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is not that old, but we hit, I think, almost a month or so ago. We were so excited because we were about to hit 10K. But after we hit 10K, in 2 weeks' time, we hit 100K, right? So we received, we are yet to receive our plug for 100K. And when we do get it, we are going to show it to everybody next week. But as of now, tonight, we are, rooting for 300K. So we are almost 290. We are 290K, gradually getting to 300K. So our channel is growing really fast, and we appreciate everybody's support. So everything that we do for Cyber Chat, we post it on our YouTube channel. So if you miss it, you can go back to it and rewatch the replay. All right, so we are going to get into what we are discussing tonight. We will first look at some cyber news. And for cyber news, guess who is in the news? TikTok, right? So before we jump into TikTok, I'll open the floor for at least 3 or 4 people to share the cyber news that they encountered during this week. And I'm also going to give the 2 that we found for tonight's cyber chat. So the floor is open. If you have any cyber news, you can share with us, and then we will look at the cyber news that we are also going to share with everybody. Go ahead, Prince.
So it looks like internet and Wi-Fi services has been disrupted in parts of Africa because of the underwater cables that have been destroyed as part of what is going on in the Middle East, Yemen and stuff like that. So it disrupted part of internet services in Africa. I know Ghana in particular was one of the countries that got affected. I just wanted to share this.
Oh, okay.
Yes. This is Momo Tulu from Atlanta. Yes, to buttress what he was saying, that's exactly what I was trying to say. Indeed, in Liberia, it was affected. So many of us have family back home in Liberia, West Africa. We could not make phone calls back home. Everything was disrupted. Liberia certainly, doesn't have that kind of IT infrastructure. So they never had a backup system. They never had any redundant system in place to sort of compensate for that huge loss. So the country was down for almost 24 hours, no communication going in there. But however, they were able to do some, local communication was possible. So yeah, exactly what he said affected a lot of countries. But Nigeria in particular survived it, because I say minutes after it happened, I think they had a backup system. I think partly that was because Nigeria has one of the biggest economy in Africa, and then I think they sort of need to properly find a redundant system that will help them to be up and running. instead of being down that much because the fact that it would have cost him a lot. Yes,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, what he says is exactly right, and they are working on it right now in Liberia. They haven't come back to 400% capacity, but now phone calls are going in now.
Okay. Thank you for that update. Rainy, please go ahead.
Okay, the hospital that had ransomware last week, help is on the way. I think it's United Health Plan and a couple other places is going to help them, but they must follow their guidelines and regulations in order for them to get the help.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. That is good to know.
Okay.
That is good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else has some news worth noting for everyone? All right. So last week we talked about TikTok. That I think Congress was about to pass, the House was about to pass a bill that was proposed. They did vote on it, and so I brought this up. Montana is the first state to ban TikTok in the US. This was last year, May 2023, right? This was one of the Cyber Chat slides that we looked at last year, right? And this year's news, last week we started talking about TikTok. This week, the House has passed the bill, and the bill is going to ban TikTok. And so they are either going to be banned or the TikTok is being forced to sell. So either sell part of it or sell all of it. I don't know how they are going to go about that. But this was really like a unanimous decision, 352 to 65 to ban TikTok or to have them, diversify or at least, give some of their shares away or sell some part of the company. And the reason behind this is strictly because the US is not comfortable about the ownership of TikTok. It is being owned, it has a Chinese ownership, and the Senate and Congress, they are kind of afraid that if the Chinese government asks TikTok to give them the data of the United States citizens who are members of TikTok or who are using the app, they might comply and give that information, right? So that is why they are passing this. I know a while ago when President Trump was, in power, he was going back and forth with them on this, stating that he was going to ban them and all that. But now it has, gone all the way and it is becoming more official, right? So the House has voted on it. It is going to the Senate next. And once the Senate votes on it, which probably is also going to be a unanimous decision, then TikTok will be forced to sell or they are going to be banned in the US. TikTok has almost 170 million American users. So that is huge, right? I don't know the overall total number of TikTok users, but 170 million is huge, right? And I think the US Senate and Congress, they have legitimate concerns, right? So what is TikTok going to do about this? Now, if it does become, a full-blown legislature, and it is applicable, then TikTok will have 165 days to comply or they are going to get banned, right? And they are going to get banned from all Apple Store, Google Play Store, and all web hosting services that are based in the US. They wouldn't be able to, just like how China also has not banned, but China blocks a lot of the social media apps in China, right? So I'm not sure if, I'm not 100% on Facebook and the rest, but they've banned some of it. You cannot easily just have access to YouTube and Facebook and some of those, right? So I think they are doing their own thing. So US is also going to look out for themselves, right? So this is really huge in the social media space and in the news for IT and cybersecurity in general, right? And the reason why, this borders directly on cybersecurity because protection of user data is very paramount when it comes to the security space. So I think Congress and the Senate, they are looking out for the overall good of US users of TikTok, right? And once we look at the last cyber news, we will open the floor for maybe your thoughts on TikTok, and then also on what we are going to discuss next. So the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, they have some good news for everyone. So our internet speed is going to increase, or our internet speed is going to get better. So this is the good news. Now they've come up with a new standard. We are no more going to, or how we measure high-speed internet. They've changed the standard from, I think it was 25.3 to 1020. So it was 25 Mbps download, and then also for upload it was 3. Now they've changed that to 10 and 20, almost fourfold, right? And this is to meet the demands of the American families, and for work purposes and all that. And then also for government agencies, like federal and state agencies, also internet speed plays a lot in what they do. So this is a new standard that has been brought forth by the FCC. And I think this is a step in the right direction. Internet can be even faster than this, right? So this is good news for everyone. Now, before we jump into our highest paying cybersecurity certifications, any thoughts, at least 2 or 3 folks on TikTok? If maybe there is more information on TikTok or on this internet speed that you want to share some light on, you have the floor. At least 2 or 3 folks can share their thoughts, and then we'll move on. Renee, please go ahead.
Dang, I didn't know I was going to be first, but Nugent, they used to work under the Trump administration.
Mm-hmm.
He's considering, I guess, with a couple of billionaires, of purchasing TikTok. That was I think that came out a couple days ago. So they're trying to get the United States. I don't know if it's going to be the Senate, but they're trying to purchase TikTok. So we'll see. More to come.
Okay.
Yes.
You go ahead, Prince.
Well, yeah, I think it's Steve Mnuchin, the former Treasury Secretary, he's trying to put some investors together to purchase TikTok. And then the strategy is that once the company is acquired, they will probably use American technology to run TikTok instead of Chinese, because I think this based on security, they feel that the TikTok based in China will actually have a lot of Americans' data, which they may try to use it to their advantage. So they're trying to have all the data within the United States and then use American technology to run the company.
Okay. Brian, please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What's ironic is the shopping thing called Temu and Shein. They're run by China, and they collect data as well.
Great point.
Get rid of TikTok. So I think it's a hit against the people that's making money on TikTok. I really do. But that's just my call. But it's just funny that Shein and Temu do the same thing with the data, but they want to ban TikTok. So yeah.
Great point. Like, I didn't even think about that. Great point, Brian. Anybody kind of sees the irony about what Brian is talking about?
Yes, Dr. Edu. And then one thing I'm also going to say is that I think this is also going to be really dangerous, because China is also going to use it against the United States. They may also try to, let's say if there's an American technology company in China, they would also use the same strategy and try to acquire the company to bring it under Chinese influence. So really, it's we want to see how it plays out, but I think it is one major issue of concern where China is also going to retaliate against the United States.
Well, I think from the government perspective, being a guy who worked with the government, I think this whole issue about TikTok, it's a serious national security concern, between the U.S. and China. So I think a lot of people are going to suffer, consumers or Americans who are benefiting from that. I mean, we're just going to take the hate because, it's above us. It's way above. It's above what we are thinking, the business aspect. We're looking at that. The U.S. government is not looking at that, looking for something more, even deeper than that.
Okay.
Just to put out there. Yeah.
Great. I appreciate everybody's input. So with that, we can circle back and come to this after we've gone through what we are looking at tonight. So thank you everyone for your input. And
Edu, just a side note, right? Yes. I don't want you guys listen to this, right? But President Biden just embarked on a budget of $13 billion for cybersecurity.
Oh, okay.
So, yep.
Great news. So we will look more into that also as well. Now, what does that mean for everybody? It means more job creation and more money in the cyberspace. So that is good news. All right. So thank you, everyone. We are going to jump into what are the highest paid cybersecurity certifications in 2024? Right. Any guesses? So we are going to start with what cybersecurity certifications are, if you are not very familiar with them and what it entails. And then we will move into the highest paying ones as we are moving forward. Jamal, please hold your thoughts. I will come to you really shortly. So cybersecurity certifications, they are a way of showing that you have gone above and beyond to acquire the knowledge and skill that is being asked for in that specific certification to be able to prove to employers and to prove to people within the industry that you can perform certain type of tasks, right? And you have the knowledge and skill to back those type of tasks that are outlined in different job roles, right? So certifications, they are a demonstration of your skill sets and your knowledge in performing different types of security tasks that you might come across. Now, there are different types of certifications, and where do you get certifications? Who are the owners of certifications? So within the security space and IT space in general, degrees, you can go to school to get a formal degree, a degree in cybersecurity, a degree in information technology and all that, degree in software engineering, right? Now, the like degrees are good in the industry, aside your formal education in any IT space, and specifically for cybersecurity in the cyberspace. We also have industry certifications that you can sit for. And mostly the industry certifications, if you have a degree in any aspect of cybersecurity, then we assume you're a subject matter expert in the space. So you should be able to write and pass certifications within that space, right? So in the industry, they are, not to say degrees don't carry weight, they do carry weight, but certifications are what mostly employers will look at, right? And employers and industry players, they understand certifications more than degrees. So if you have a degree and you don't have any certifications, then I encourage you to pursue some certifications as well, right? Now, that is not to say if you have a certification, the employers are going to hand over jobs to you because you have certifications. You still have to prove that you have the knowledge and skill to be able to perform the tasks in whatever job role that you are seeking, right? So certifications, they help us to demonstrate our level of expertise in the security space. Now we are going to discuss some of the different types of certifications and the goal behind these different types of certifications. And then we will look at the ones that are paying how much, the highest paying ones that are in the industry, right? So for the certifications within the industry, they are, we sit for those certifications, or they are run by independent organizations or private organizations within the industry, right? So Eretmis Inc. can decide to come up with our own certification, right? Carve a niche within the cyberspace, come up with our own certification, promote it, get certified by ISO, right? And then, just promote it and sell it as much as we can And if the industry catches up on it, then we also become one of the certification bodies. So anyone can come up with a certification, become like a certification authority in the industry and come up with their own certification and their goals and objectives behind the certification. And, people will sit for the certification. If they pass, they get that certification, right? So within the industry, there are some key players like Comptia, one of the very common ones. It's an organization that administers some of these exams, by which when you pass, they are going to grant you a certificate or a certification based on whichever one that you start for. And then we have ISACA, ISE Square, Offensive Security, and the list goes on, right? So these bodies, they are independent. They come up with their own exams questions, and they are also industry players, so they know what is going on in the industry. They do a lot of research to keep up with industry changes and technological changes and advancements to make sure their certifications continuously remain relevant, right? So we are going to look at some of these certifications as we move along. So we are going to look at why is it even important, or what are some of the things you have to know about certifications in terms of sitting for the exams, passing, recertifying. So these certifications, when you sit for the exams and you pass, you have up to 3 years to renew, right? So for like the renewal, I kind of spoke about it when we started. You can resit for the exams, or you can choose to do what we call continuous education, use continuous education points to recertify, right? So for the different certifications, they have different objectives. So for example, we have certifications that focus on auditing, certification that focus on operations, certification that focus on penetration testing, certification. So they focus on different, depending on your career path. You might want to go with this type of certification or that. And there we have ones that are general, like Comptia Security Plus covers almost everything, right? So after, starting from the fundamentals, from the basics, if you get to a level where you want to specialize in an area in security space, then you can choose a certification path and go with that, right? So mostly what I encourage everybody to do is not to be just chasing certifications, but make sure that you don't get way ahead of yourself, right? It's like you are driving at night. You don't want to go faster than you can see with your light, right? So if you do that, you're going to crash. And what do I mean by that? I mean, everybody on here, you're all pretty smart. You can spend 6 months chasing certifications and get 5, 6, or 10 of it, right? But do you have the knowledge and skill to back it up? Because mostly if you are going to interviews and you have, one of like some of the big, heavy hitters in the certification space, you have like CISA, CISM, CISSP, and you don't really know what you are about, you are going to look like a moron. Because how are you going to have all these certifications and not know anything? Right now, they start to question how you got the certifications. Right, so you don't want to get too, way ahead of yourself. So you always have to, move at a good speed where the knowledge and skill you have now can defend the certification that you have. Right. So with that, we are going to move into maybe why bother get a certification, right? Is it really that important for you to get a certification? And if you don't have one, is it really going to go against you, right? So for certifications, they are good to have, right? I'll encourage everybody, if you are in the industry already, you are trying to get into the industry, to at least have a plan on getting 1 or 2 certifications. The goal is not the certification that you're going to get. The goal is what you are going to learn in terms of skills and knowledge as you are, preparing towards getting the certification. That is the whole idea behind the certification. It's not just the piece of paper that you have. So I know what goes on in the industry. Sometimes some people even have others write the certifications for them. And I'm wondering, I mean, what is really the sense in that? Because I can have Brian write the like the law exam for me, does that mean when I get the certification and my name is on there, I'm a lawyer? No, I'm not. Right. I'm like have the certification, all right. If you just have to write the certification to become a lawyer, somebody can write for me. I'll have the certification, but I don't have the knowledge and skill, or what it needs to, be able to prove to others that indeed I earned this and I have what it takes to do the job in that space, right? So for certifications, don't get too hung up on I have to get these 3 certifications because that is what employers are looking for and that is what is going to get me the job. What I tell everybody is, I think this is going to be a big shocker to everybody. So when it comes to certifications, if you say you have Security Plus or CISSP, to me, the CISSP is not the piece of paper you are holding. You are the CISSP, right? So if you don't have the knowledge and skill of a CISSP, then you really don't have a CISSP. Even though you passed the exams, you got certified. I don't really see you that way, right? If you have Security Plus, it's not a paper you are holding. You are Security Plus, right? The knowledge and skill that you have to back the Security Plus up, that is what really matters. So because on the job, your certification is not going to do the job for you. You are going to do the job. So that is what like I said from the beginning. Don't get way ahead of yourself. Don't get in the habit of maybe somebody's saying they can, you can pay them some money and they will sit for the exams for you. It doesn't really make sense. I'd rather not have the certification than to pay somebody to sit for the exam for me to write it. Then people do that in the industry. So if I say that, I know what I'm talking about, right? So that is one of the silly things that you can do, because at the end of the day, you can have it on your resume and all that, but guess what? They are still going to interview you to pick your brain on what you can do for the company, the knowledge and skill you are bringing to the table. So for the certifications that we are going to look at tonight, it's good to have them. If you have them, this is giving you some idea of how to position yourself in terms of how much employers are supposed to pay you, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that if you have it and you don't have the skills and the knowledge to back it up, you can go and ask and demand for that amount of money. Like if somebody wants to employ you in the first place, right? So to get the certifications, they are good. If you don't have it, it's not really going to be a big negative. But if you have it, it's a plus, right? So it makes you look more favorable when you apply for jobs. If you come head to head with somebody, you equally did well on the interview they don't have a certification you have, that is going to be the edge that you're going to have over them, right? But then if you have the certification and somebody did way better than you in the interview and they don't have a certification, they're going to pick that person over you, right? So that doesn't mean, maybe, hopefully everybody gets that piece. If you have the certification, that gives you an edge, but then you still have to be able to prove yourself. If somebody without a certification is able to prove themselves more than you, then that person is going to get the job, obviously. So why I encourage everybody to go through certifications is what it is going to make out of you in terms of the preparation, the knowledge and skill you are going to acquire. That is why it is good for everybody to go through this. And then also within the industry, at least you're able to show off and let everybody know, yes, I made it. I was able to get this. And that feeling, right? Knowing that you actually went through, studied, prepared, and you passed on your own merits, that feeling is priceless. So I encourage everybody to go through, at least if you are starting off in the security space, start off with Security Plus, right? So with that, we are going to jump into the highest paying cybersecurity certifications in 2024. And this list is not in any special order. We are going to go through this real quick. So Security Plus, Security Analyst, from Comptia Security Plus, Security Analyst, CISM, that is Certified Information Security Manager from ISACA. And we have CRIX, we have CISA, and we have GIAC, and Pentest Plus from Comptia, and then we have GPen, we have OSCP, CAPS, CISSP, and GIAC. So we are going to jump into We are going to look at the GIAC certifications first, but I think there were some hands up. So I'll let, I don't know whose hand was up. They lowered it. I think it was Jamal was up and then somebody else. So if you can please ask your question before we move on. Go ahead.
Yes, Dr. Du, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I thought you were asking the question in the beginning. You were asking us what the highest paid, what we thought the highest paid certifications were. And that's what I was
you can still answer that.
Okay. Well, the top dog from my research is the CISSP.
Okay.
And following up under that is the CISA. And then probably the pen testing in those areas. GRC is, as far as earning money from what I've looked at, that has the broadest field as far as earning the most potential money in general, I would guess.
Okay. I mean, you are right around those figures. So yes.
Okay.
Faisal, please go ahead.
Yes, Prof. You mentioned I saw that you had a Comptia Pentest among the certifications you mentioned. I think Comptia Pentest and CISA, I think they're on the same level, if I'm right. And secondly, is it advisable to go ahead and do some of these certifications without having like a good background so that it can help you along the way? That's my question.
Okay, great. So I think as we are going through, your question will be answered because we are not just going to look at the certification and how much money that goes with it, but we are also going to look at the prerequisites and then what it entails to be able to go through and what the exams is going to cover and all that, right? So we will discuss whether you need some background and which ones to take and all that as we are moving forward. Okay.
Dr. Edu.
Yes, go ahead.
So I have a question for you, right? So what if like a guy like me who went and got a master's in computer science, and then recently I went because remember I told you my story where I work in finance for about 8 years now, and I tried to switch career. So I went back to school and got a master's in computer science. So then I think a week ago I took the Comptia Security Plus. I passed on March 6th. I passed the Comptia Security Plus. So how far could I go? Maybe acquiring based on my knowledge in computer science, and then try to get maybe CE. I was thinking about studying to get a CEH. But could I just wait till I acquire a job as with my certificate before advancing and going for other certs?
Okay, so great question. And I think everybody will benefit from this as well. So just to start from where you ended, you said, should you get a job with your certification? So the answer to that is to rephrase it. It's not the certification that is going to get you the job. It's the knowledge and skill that you have. Demonstrate to employers that you can do the job. That is what is going to get you the job, right? If it's just the certification, then there are a lot of people with CISSP, CISA, SIM, and they can't find a job anywhere. They've been to like 20 interviews and nobody wants to employ them because they are not able to demonstrate that they have the knowledge and skill, right? Mostly for these certification exams, there is a lot that these exams will cover, a lot. And if you are new to the industry, right, you're a pretty smart guy, you work in finance. I mean, as you are studying for it, you can study, you know, it's still going to be fresh in your memory. You sit and pass the exam. But after 2 weeks, 4 weeks, if you go to sleep on it, most of the stuff you are going to forget, right? And then also you've not actually done it or in any setting of any type. So although you have the certification, if you are pursuing 2 or 3 and you have all of them, now when you're applying for jobs and they're asking you, so how do you, how do you go about conducting risk assessment for a company? This is a very simple question if you've done it before, right? But you probably read about it, not really the doing of it, but the definitions of risks and the different aspects and different twists of it. Now you can put the pieces together. That is if you remember the pieces that you studied to pass the exam, right? So for you, it's good. You have the degree. Now you have the certification. What I would say is get the knowledge and skill, some hands-on, do some hands-on work, do some work within that space, look for a job. If you are given the opportunity, you will be able to at least acquire some on-the-job skills, and then you can look into pursuing other certifications, right? You don't have to be a career cybersecurity professional who only pursues certifications. So you have this, you have that, you spend like the whole year chasing certifications. Now you have it. When you're applying for a job, are you going to put all those certifications on there? Because if you do, then everybody's going to think, oh, okay. I mean, he's really up here, right? He has Security Plus, CISA, CISSP. So do you know how they see you?
I know.
Right. And you don't have the knowledge and skill to back it up. Now they ask you a very simple cybersecurity question and you're all over the place and they're looking at you like, where did this guy get all this from? Right. So that is not going to speak well of you. You're a pretty smart guy. You don't want to go anywhere and look like a moron. Right. Now you are talking in circles and you know yourself, you are just talking nonsense. Right. And like some interviews, you'll be begging for them to just end it for you to save yourself from all that embarrassment. But then they will keep going on and going on, and you're going to feel so bad about yourself. And maybe some people on here can relate. But like I'm saying, don't get too ahead of yourself. If you are starting off, you have Security Plus, is good. Stay with Security Plus until your knowledge and skill has gone a little bit above Security Plus, or is at speed with where you are in Security Plus, right? Because Security Plus is the foundation for most of these certifications. If you're able to really go through Security Plus and you didn't take a shortcut by just memorizing some test questions and passing, but you actually studied the material and you went through it, I can tell you for a fact, you have really laid almost like 65 to 70% of the foundation for CISSP, CISA, and all these other certifications. So really adding the little piece that you need to get over and, that hurdle of getting these other certifications, you are very close, right? But don't be in a hurry just to get them because you are close and you can get them and you're a smart guy or a smart girl, right? So hopefully that helps.
Yes, sir.
All right. So with that, we are going to jump into so most people are not familiar with the GIAC certifications, right? This is one of the big certifications within the space, but mostly we are more, we are more used to Comptia, ISACA, the ISE square and the rest. GIAC, most people don't go that route because some of their certifications are pretty expensive, right? Some are way up there. They have some certifications that are like 7,000, 8,000, 6,000. For them, mostly their clients are the government. So it's the government that is paying for. I know some of my friends who have these certifications, they got it through the government, right? So we are going to move on. Chris, please hold your hand. We will run through a little bit and then we will give you the floor, right? So we are going to look at GIAC certifications. So with GIAC certifications, the first one we are looking at is the GIAC security expert, right? So this is a stackable certification. And if you are not aware of what a stackable certification is, so stackable certifications, you don't sit for an exams to get them, they are awarded. And what do I mean by that? So let's say if within the GIAC space, you get some number of certifications, they are going to award you this certification, right? So you don't sit for an exam to write it, but you have to acquire different certifications within that space and then they will award you. Just like, so all these certification bodies, they have that. I think Comptia was the one who started it. If you have Security Plus, Security Analyst, they have a stackable certification that they give you. So you don't sit for that, but it's automatic because you got Security Plus and Analyst. They have a stackable they give you. If you get Security Plus, Security Analyst, and Pentest, they have another stackable that they give you, right? So the GIAC security expert is one of the most challenging to get because you have to get 6 GIAC practical practitioner certifications, and then 2 of the applied knowledge certifications before you can get the certification, right? So when most people don't necessarily pursue some of the GIAC certifications because it's pretty expensive, like I said. Now, salary range for most of the GIAC certifications is 154, right? 154K, right? Now, with that being said, like I said from the beginning, it doesn't mean automatically when you get these certifications, you are automatically going to get 154, right? You have to have the knowledge and skill to back it up. And then it also comes down to your negotiation skills and then also the role that you are going to hold. But on average, folks who are holding this certification, you should be getting around this figure, right? So with that, we are going to move on to the next GIAC certification, that is the GIAC Pentest. So the GPen is for folks who want to pursue the pen testing route, the red team aspect of cybersecurity. So on the right side, this is one of the certifications within the pen testing space, one of the popular also as well. For the exam, we have 82 questions. The minimum passing score is 75%. The exam cost is 979. And for a retake, if you fail and you have to retake it again, you are going to pay, I think, $499. And then for salary, also around the same, 150K, right? So if you are looking to, go into the pen testing space, this is one of the certifications that you can pursue. And mostly for GIAC, their training, most of their training is through SANS. So if you can also go to their website, create an account, they have some good resources on there that you can also use and study with, right? Now, with the pen test, some of the prerequisites knowledge that you need to be able to pursue this is knowledge of Windows operating system, computer networking, basic cryptographic concepts, and the use of Linux and Windows command lines. You should be very familiar with it. And then also some of the job titles that you can get with this certification is penetration tester, ethical hacker, forensics specialist, so all of which is on the right side of the cyberspace, right? And the skills that is covered, or what is covered, the skills and knowledge covered in this is a comprehensive pen test plan, recon and scoping, and in-depth scanning, exploitation, post-exploitation, and I'll also add privilege escalation, pivoting, and then also agile overview and integration and attack, and in-depth password attacks. So these are some of the things that are covered in this certification. All right. So we are going to move on to the next GIAC certification, that is the Security Essentials. So the Security Essentials is for IT professionals who want to prove that they have the security skill sets to be able to work within any of the security-focused IT roles. And the exams is going to be 106 to 180 questions for this. And you have 5 hours to complete. So 5 hours, you have to be ready for that. Passing score is 73%. The amount you pay for this exam is $979, so almost $1,000 for the first time test taker, and then also you pay $500 with active related certifications. And for the skills, for the money also, for all GIAC certifications is around 154K. And some of the roles or job titles that you can get within this space, if you get this certification, is security manager, security administrator, auditor. You'll be able to hold, and this is by no means limited. This certification is not limited to these roles alone. There is obviously more that you can do aside this. So now we will move into, we've done with the GIAC. So these are the 3 certifications, the highest paying within the GIAC space. Now we are going to move into ISACA. So we are all very familiar with ISACA certifications. The first one we are going to look at is CISA. and most folks on here, I think a lot of people have CISA already. So CISA is one of the certifications or the biggest certifications in the auditing space. So mostly in the GRC space, in the compliance auditing space, CISA is one of the big ones. And this confirms that you have the technical cybersecurity knowledge and IT audit knowledge to be able to audit or to be able to help companies stay in compliance. Right now, CISA covers the following areas or the following domains. So information security auditing processes, governance and management of IT, information systems acquisition and development, development and implementation, information systems operations, and business resilience. Right. So these are the 5 main areas that are covered in the exam. And for the exam, passing score is 450. All ISACA exams, passing score is 450, and the scale is 200 to 800. So the score, the maximum you can score is 800. And before you even start the exam, I think you have almost 100 or 200 to begin with, thereabout, right? So it is between 200 and 800. So how they go about the scoring, I don't really know the behind the scenes, but the scoring, and you have to score, you have to pass almost all the domains, all the 5 domains. The exams fee is 760 for non-ISACA members. If you are an ISACA member, is 575. But then if you are a new ISACA member, you are still going to pay the 760 because to be an ISACA member, you are going to pay the difference between 760 and 575, right? But then subsequent exams you take with them, you're only going to pay 575. So prerequisite for CISA is at least 5 years of professional experience in the system auditing and control or security space, right? And then also for them, I think if you have a degree like Momo does, the degree counts as a year of experience, right? So if you have maybe 3 years thereabout or more with a degree, you'll be able to, so when you sit for these exams and you pass, you've passed the exam, but you are not fully certified. You have to apply for the certification and you have to prove as part of the application, there is a form that you're going to fill, and the form has to be endorsed by wherever you work to prove that you have the 5 years of working experience. And then also, if you have a degree, that is also going to count towards a year of experience as well, right? So what are some of the job titles that you can hold with this? There is a whole list. This is just some of it. So IT auditor, compliance analyst, programs manager, risk analyst, data protection manager, security officer, security manager, and the list goes on. Right now for CISA, the average earning for CISA average salary is 154 also as well. So CISA and the GIAC certifications, they are almost on the same level, right? Now we are going to move to the next certification in the ISACA space. That is the CISM. So the CISM is one of the biggest when it comes to the risk management space. Is the risk and information systems control certification, and this is for people who want to work, within the security space still, but if you want to really focus on the risk aspect. So this still kind of falls under GRC space, right? So ISACA is kind of like the GRC hub for all their certifications. You can easily assign all them under GRC. So this is working in the risk space. And for prerequisites, you need 3 years of information security. You have to be working in the information security space for 3 years. Exam to pass is 450 out of 800, and you have 150 questions. Mostly with these exams, you have like 3 hours thereabout to sit for, right? And then also for some of the roles that you can hold for this is risk manager, security manager, business analyst, IT manager, operations manager, information control manager, chief compliance officer, chief information security officer. So you can be CCO, or you can be a CISO, right, with this certification. And the average salary for this is 133, right? So if you have CRICS and CISA, does that mean you're going to be getting 133 plus 150? That is just a funny question, right? So the next one we'll look at in ISACA is SIM. So SIM is also one of the biggest. A lot of folks love to sit for SIM and CISA. So SIM, the CISM is at the same level kind of with CISSP, right? But SIM focuses more on the managerial. CISSP focuses on operational and leadership, right? Also with some managerial in there, but they are on the same level, right? And CISA, SIM, not so they are all advanced certifications. That is why it requires you to have 5 years of experience, right? So CISA, SIM, CISSP, they are all advanced certifications that require you to have 5 years. So any certification that requires you to have 5 years of experience, working experience, they are all considered to be advanced certifications, right? So Certified Information Security Manager is one of the in-demand certifications. And if you get this certification, we all assume, or in the industry where everybody believes that you should be able to develop and manage an enterprise information security program, right? And the exams or the certification covers the following areas. So information security governance, incident management, information security risk management, information security program, and many more, right? So, but this is what they've listed to be the main domains of the exam. Now, prerequisites, 5 years of working experience. And then also if you have a degree, that counts towards at least a year of experience. And some of the job roles or the job titles you can hold within this space: information security. So ISO, information systems security officer, information or private risk consultant, information security manager. And then also you can be a trainer, systems analyst. And also with this certification, you can still be a CISO, right? Or you can hold any of those managerial leadership positions as well. Now, salary range for CISM is 167. So 167 so far for all the ones that we've looked at, kind of holds the title for the time being, right? 167, that is pretty good money, right? Now, before we jump into the rest, if you are looking to get into the cyberspace to start off your career as a cybersecurity professional, whether you have some IT or cybersecurity background or not, you can always bet on the cybersecurity entry-level course. So with entry-level course, it is open enrollment, but now we are going to start with cohorts. That way we can easily move them into the internship. So the next cohort is starting on the 28th of March. And then also for our PCI DSS payment security course, our next cohort is starting on the 26th. I can see that well on the 26th. Yes. So if you are looking to specialize in the payment card industry, you're already in the IT space or in the cybersecurity space, kindly look into this. We have a very robust program, the best out there by far, right? And then the last item that we are going to look at before we continue is our PCI, our GRC internship. Our new cohort is starting tomorrow. If you are part of it and you've not received the email, please do shoot us a test. We sent it out at the beginning, in the morning today, so you should be able to get it. But we are also going to follow up with everybody, make sure you have it. We are meeting tomorrow. Meeting will start at 11 a.m. Tomorrow is going to be meet and greet, and go over some of the housekeeping stuff. Next week is when we are going to actually start working on projects. So for anything within the GRC space, so like Momo, you've been through college, you have a degree, you have Security Plus. Your next step is going to be the cybersecurity internship and workshop, right? This is going to give you the hands-on experience that you need and the confidence to be able to speak to things that you've done in the security space during interviews, right? So look into this for everybody also with the same like with the same background, you know, you have the knowledge, you have the certifications, but really you cannot really speak to any projects. Join the cybersecurity GRC internship / workshop, and it is going to be a game changer for you in your career. Now we are going to jump into the Comptia certifications. Jamal, please go ahead before we move on.
Yes, I just wanted to ask, but I mean, taking the PCI, BSS, the GRC, would that class enhance what I've already learned as far as GRC? Is it necessary, or have I done enough to have that experience? Or does the GRC hands-on go more into depth?
Yeah, so with the PCI, you know, PCI is a whole beast on its own. So PCI, the training, the internship, although that falls under GRC, we focus predominantly on PCI and all the skills and strategies that you need to be able to function as a PCI professional, right? Now, the GRC, the general GRC internship, we work on 10 major projects. So we are going to do audits similar to the internal audits that you do in the PCI internship. We work on third-party risk management. We work on incident response projects, developing procedures, policies, and implementing them, reviewing them, risk assessments. So there's a whole list, right? So you can most definitely learn more from and also get that exposure with the GRC internship that is going on. But for you, Jamal, I'll wait and finish, right? Because I know you are in two spaces now, in the CBAT and then also in the PCI. So it's a lot of work in the GRC internship that is going to go on.
Gotcha.
And what you are in also is a lot of work.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I'll finish with that first before I'll look this way.
Right? All right. I got you.
All right. Thank you. Alma, please go ahead.
Okay, my question, you said that the guy that had the
he has the degree.
Yes, sir. How about somebody who has no degree? What do they start off with? Can they do the GRC? Yeah.
So if you have no degree, but let's say you've taken some cybersecurity course somewhere, right? You can jump into this internship. Never. Okay. So if you've never, then we will start you off with the cybersecurity entry-level course. So the entry-level course comes with the internship, the GRC internship as well, but you have to go through the training first before we get into the doing portion of it, which is the internship, right? So the cybersecurity entry-level course, like the first one that we looked at before the PCI slide, is what you have to go for, right? So everybody, if you have no background, zero, we encourage you to go through the entry-level course. It is really going to build you up in terms of foundational knowledge, in terms of using tools. And then once you've gone through the training, we move you into the internship, where now you actually get to work on real world projects for two of our companies that we work for during the internship.
Okay.
Yes. But if you have some people would have done maybe RMF or third party somewhere, so they kind of did something security, but they are not really sure of what path to go or where they are at right now. And they are struggling with interviews. Now, for those folks, your answer is going to be the GRC internship, because now you're actually going to have that exposure working on different security projects. And during interviews, you can speak to them. Yeah, I did this, I did that. You have something to go off on, right? And that serves as your experience in cybersecurity starting from where you are right now. Right. Michael, please go ahead.
Yeah. So just like the last speaker, I don't have any experience in cybersecurity, in the cybersecurity space. So that answer that you just gave, I really appreciated it. I just have one question as far as pertaining to the internship itself. So obviously, this is just a good question to ask when it comes to internships. With the internship that's going to be going through the two companies that you guys have, is that like a paid internship, or is that
no?
Gotcha.
So yes, so like with the internship, how we have it set up, Eretmis Academy is going to teach you the projects, and you are going to work on the projects for the company, right? So let's say if you are doing like risk assessments, the company already has a risk register already made. you are going to make one, and then you are going to review the one that they have. And okay, so this is going to be the new one. Or policies. They have policies already. You are going to review the policies, right? So you are learning and doing at the same time. So it's not a paid internship.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's for 2 months.
Got you.
So you do it for 8 weeks.
What do the hours usually look like for this internship, or is it mainly like self-paced, like you do it at your own time?
No, so it's very flexible. We do it as a group. So how we have it set up, the whole interns, we divide the interns into 2 main groups. Each group is assigned to a company, right? And with the group, we have group leads, team leads. So the groups are also divided into teams. And for the projects that you are going to work on, we meet on Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. to 11:30, thereabout. And then we will discuss the project you are going to work on. So this is the project, the science behind it. This is why we do it, and this is how we are going to do it for the company, right? These are the products they have already. And then you and your team, right, will meet during the week. Mostly they meet in the evenings, maybe 2-3 times a week. They work on the project during the week. And then on the next Saturday, they bring up the project. If it's good, we go over it. We show you where, you could have made it better, or if it is totally wrong, then we are going to redo it, right? And then if it's good, we move on to the next project. So that is how we have it set up. So the only general meetings that we have is on Saturday mornings, and then you and your group working on the projects will be during the week. You determine the time and date that you're going to be meeting during the week to work on such projects.
Dr. Edu, a question for you.
Yes, go ahead.
So yeah, so the project, right? Once you split the group, are we going to meet? Is that in person or virtual? That could be a virtual meeting all the time.
Yeah. So everything is done remotely, right? So the meetings we meet virtually. Your groups will also going to meet virtually. Projects you are working on these projects remotely, right? So 95% of all cybersecurity jobs you are going to encounter is going to follow the same format.
So the time is it during work hours, or it can be like late evenings and stuff?
No,
around
so
time?
mostly is during in the late evenings, because everybody in here is also working full time, right?
Okay.
So you and your team will meet and discuss, hey, what is going to be the best time for all of us to meet during the week. So maybe Mondays around 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. is when everybody will be in. We may discuss the project, and then we are going to break off. Different teams are going to work on. Right.
But is there any contingency plan for instance, when someone who's part of your group, probably for some unforeseen circumstance, they are not able to be present, and for a very key component of the training? So what do you do for that person?
Great question. So a very key component of this program that probably I forgot to talk about is you are not only going to learn the technical skills and knowledge you need to be able to function as a security professional, you are also going to learn one of the most sought for skill sets that we don't really talk about that much. That is soft skills. So in this space, we put you into groups to work on the project as a group for a reason. So we are not here to just learn the technical side of cybersecurity, but the soft skills aspect. So like the question that you asked, we have group leads, team leads, and you are also team players. So you are all going to go through the different steps when it comes to team formation stages. So mostly when you meet nice entries in the formation stage, then you move into the storming stage where everybody is like, no, left, right, left, there's a lot of, and then you move into the norming stage where you start really working really well. And so we put you into that space for you to really learn, to deal with each other, to work together, because in the cyberspace is the same exact thing you're going to do. And then also during interviews, they ask that a lot. Like most folks who will fail, interviews, it is going to be the soft skills that is going to get you, not the technical side, right? So now questions of if somebody is not pulling their weight, what are we going to do about it? You and your team are going to go about how you are going to deal with it, right? So team leads, assistant team leads, group leads, and everybody else within the team, you come up with your own SOPs for the team, right? So there's a lot that you are learning here, all intertwined. So great question. Glenda, please go ahead.
Good evening. My question is, I have 15 years in medical background at the hospital, and now I'm working in safety. So my question is, how can the GRC course, how can that help me?
Okay, so with your 15 years in the medical and the number of years that you have right now in safety coming in, you have almost like 40 to 60% of what is needed in cybersecurity already without you knowing.
Okay.
Yes. So you've been doing a lot of cybersecurity without you knowing. One big one is yes, and you in the health space, you've been dealing with HIPAA, right?
That is correct.
Yes. So there are a lot of HIPAA stuff that with your role, if you're a manager, you are in a leadership managerial position, you are a HIPAA compliance officer without you knowing, because you are cracking the whip on that the whole time, the training and this and that. And so you've been working in the security space for a while. And also in like safety, you are doing way more in security also as well, right? So with this training, you are going to now, go over mainstream security stuff. And there's going to be also a lot of aha moments. Oh yeah, I've been doing this, right? Oh yeah, okay, but you didn't know it was security. Now it is security. And then also the soft skills portion of it, which a lot of which you also bring in already from your years in the health side. So this is really going to help you easily transition into the cybersecurity space, and also help you to really identify most of the transferable skills that you already bring into the table, because you have a lot bringing to the table.
Right? Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Marlon, please go ahead, and then Jamal and T. Daniels.
Yes, yes. So my question is for the internship with the training, what type of SIEM tools are used in that environment?
SIEM tools?
Yes.
Okay, so the project that we are going to work on, we don't use SIEM tools, right? So I'm not sure if you've had time to go over the list of the projects. So we are going to work on audits, right? And the audits, we are using 3 frameworks: CIS controls, ISO, and NIST cybersecurity framework, right? And then you do gap analysis after that. And then we move into conducting baseline. So we are going to set a baseline for this company using the same 3 frameworks. And then we move into risk assessment, right? So we are actually using doing projects, not necessarily. So when it comes to tools, if you go through our cybersecurity entry-level course, we have the hands-on training where that is purely just tools, right? But when it comes to really the doing of the job, tools really play, I would say, probably 10% of what or even less than what you are going to do. So the focus of the internship is really to show you how the job is done and for you to actually do it. Because like all the projects that I'm talking about, you don't need any tool to really do it. The tool that you need, right? You are the tool. So if you are, we have like students. So I think like typical example, I'm not sure if Noah is on here, but Noah went through entry level, went through the internship, right? Got a job. They brought him in as a cybersecurity analyst. Now they switched it up on him. They are like, you're going to handle the third party aspect of what we are doing. Because Noah had so much exposure in the different areas, we did a full-blown third party project during the internship. He was able to function. And guess what? He's not using any tool to do the third party analyst job that he's doing. What he's doing is his tool is attention to detail and knowing what to look for, right? So, but when it comes to actually, and also a typical example is Michael. So Michael is also working as a GRC analyst and a GRC manager. He's doing 2 jobs. Now he got on there, he are using Zen GRC. And in the internship, we didn't use any tool. Now, because what we are doing didn't require for us to use any tool, we mostly like to do things manually, even on the third party side. Now, for the entry-level course, he went through, he used different SIEM tools. vulnerability scanning tools and the rest. So he was exposed to tools. Now, Zin GRC, that was his first time. They gave him an orientation. The following week, he's now the master of Zin GRC. Probably we're going to have him come to Cyber Chat one day and do a quick overview of that. So when it comes to the tools, I wouldn't really worry myself too much about learning a specific tool, or it's good to learn some, at least know some of the tools, right? At least pick in every category of the tools, at least you should be familiar with one. So let's say vulnerability scanning space, at least you know one, Nexus or Qualys. In the SIM space, at least you know Splunk or QRadar, right? And those, you can always find like a free version of the tool that you can play around with, right? But for the internship, because there's a lot to do about really working on real projects, we don't really, go into the tools space, because that really is going to reduce the capacity and also like the time of a lot of things that we have to go through, right? So hopefully that helps.
Yes, it does. Yes, thank you.
T. Daniels, please go, and then Jamal will go, and we will jump into the Comptia space.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. My question may have been answered with your last statement, but I wanted to know if there would be any modules that we would need to view to get up to speed on the different frameworks, or are we focusing on the hands-on projects?
Okay, good question. So with the frameworks, the auditing project that we're going to be doing, we are going to use 3 frameworks, right? And 3 of the biggest. So we'll be using NIST Cybersecurity Framework, ISO 27701, and CIS Controls version 8, right? So we are going to show you how to use these frameworks to conduct an audit, and also to use these frameworks to set a baseline for a company, right? Now, with the frameworks, once you know how to use 1 or 2, at least the concept and how to use it and the auditing aspect of it, you should be able to have that, hands down. So mostly if you have to switch to use other frameworks, it's very easy for you to switch into other frameworks, right? Because at least you've used 3 of these frameworks.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Jamal, please go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to chime in. The other gentleman asked what was the contingency plan if someone missed a class. The way Brian set it up as our lead, he would record the Zoom so that we can all and send a link to each one of the team members. And also, if you needed more instructor, you can just give it your lead or someone else that's real familiar with the material. So you won't be left out. You'll be working as a team.
All right. That's some leadership tips going on there. All right, thank you, Jamal. Yes, so and mostly just to add to what and like Jamal said, for the groups and the teams, they in the next 2-3 weeks they start working very cohesively. And when it comes to meetings, like Jamal rightly said, they will record it. So if you miss it, they will be able to post it. And then also for the bigger meeting on Saturday mornings, we record that as well. So if you miss it, it is going to be there available for you to go through. Right. So thank you for that input, Jamal. And we are going to move forward. So now we are jumping into Comptia certifications. What are some of the big paying certifications in the Comptia space? We are going to start with CYSA Plus. So with CYSA, after Security Plus, after Comptia came up with Security Plus, I think in the next 2 years thereabout is when they came up with CYSA. No, 3 years plus thereabout. They came up with CYSA, and then they came up with Pentest. So Pentest and CYSA, they are on the same level in the Comptia category of certifications, right? So CYSA is supposed to be the next step after Security Plus, and prerequisite for CYSA is Network Plus, Security Plus, and also or equivalent knowledge, and at least 4 years of experience as a security working in the security space. Now for Comptia, unlike the other certification bodies, if you pass the exam, you have the certification. So sit pass and you have it. you don't have to certify, if you pass the exams, you have it. But for ISACA and for ISE Square, like for CISA and the rest, when you pass the exam, that is the first step. You have to apply to get the certification, right? And prove the 5 years or 3 years or thereabout. But with Comptia, once you sit for the exams and you pass, that's it, you have your certification. So that is one, good thing about the Comptia space. Now, for CISA security analyst, it covers the exams, or the exams objectives covers the following areas: security operations, vulnerability management, reporting and communication, and incident response and management, right? So with the 4 years of experience, now if you've sat for Security Plus and at least you've gained some knowledge and skill, mostly if, let's say, you had Security Plus, you've gone through our internship, once you are done, you can sit for security analyst, right? Because now you have the knowledge and skill, the experience to back it up, right? Because you've done audits, incident response, identity analysis, you've gone through most of these projects that you are going to encounter on the job, right? So for the passing score is 750 out of 900, and you have 165 minutes for 85 questions. Now it's multiple choice and performance based. So what do we mean by performance based? Mostly with the performance based is going to be, they will give you like a scenario and you have to drag and drop the answers. So you are going to match, certain things, or you are going to look at the scenario, look at whatever they have, and then use that to answer some questions. That is the scenario based or performance based. And then the multiple choice are just general multiple choice that we all know. The exams cost is 404, and some of the roles that you can hold with this is incident response analyst, security architect, security engineer, threat hunter, security analyst, again, vulnerability analyst, and the list SOC analyst, also threat intelligence and applications security analyst. And there is more, right? Mostly in the security space, don't get hung up on job titles, right? Some people will come to you and they are like, yeah, I only want to be a SOC analyst, or I only want to be a vulnerability analyst or a cybersecurity analyst. So that is what I'm studying towards. No, because on the job, it's just like you saying, I only want to be a surgeon. I'm not a doctor. I only want to be a surgeon. So anything else that has to do with being a doctor, I don't care about. I just want to be a surgeon. You have to be a doctor first to be a surgeon, right? So you don't want to be the surgeon that somebody collapses in front of you and you're like, I mean, why are you looking at me? I'm only a surgeon, right? I mean, like, what are these people thinking? There's no surgical need for me here. So no, you're a doctor first. So if somebody collapses in front of you, you should be able to, do something. So what I'm trying to say is, you are a cybersecurity professional first. You are not a security analyst first, or a SOC analyst first, or a threat intelligence analyst first. You're a cybersecurity analyst first. So on the job, they expect you to be a cybersecurity professional. You're a cybersecurity professional first, not cybersecurity analyst. Cybersecurity professional first, before any role. So if you have the knowledge and skill to function as a cybersecurity analyst, then you'll be able to function in any of these roles. Now, granted, some of these roles require you to, polish up on some areas of security, right? But overall, you have to be all-rounded. And you don't have to be a master in all areas to be all-rounded. You have to have a good working knowledge, right? So if you are getting into the cybersecurity space and anybody is trying to tell you to, just focus on incident response analyst, you are not going to be very successful. Because what if, like the example that I was giving, for Noah's job, they brought him in as a cybersecurity analyst. And then in there, they're like, well, you're going to be doing the third-party risk management stuff for us. Was he going to say, no, I'm only here as an analyst? I mean, what do you guys mean third-party? Find somebody else to do that. Then they're going to fire you, right? But because he was all-rounded, he has a very good working knowledge, he is able to easily leverage himself, right? So he will call for guidance, but because he was really, on top of his knowledge and skill, you point him, run, 2-3 directions, and he just runs with it, right? So everybody on here, you are a cybersecurity professional first before any role that you find yourself in. So please note that. And for salary, 121 is what we are looking for security analyst. Now, the next one that we are going to look at is CAPS. So CAPS is the highest in the hierarchy of cybersecurity certifications from Comptia, right? It is at the same level, or is supposed to be at the same level as CISSP and CISA and CISM, right? But the difference between CAPS Plus and CISSP and CISA and the rest is that unlike the other advanced certifications, CAPS Plus, the focus is on the technical aspect of security, right? All the advanced certifications, they focus on either audit, management, operational, and leadership. For CAPS, although it's an advanced certification, the focus is for technicians, right? Advanced technicians, not managers or folks in that space, right? So the focus of the exam, you are going to be looking at security architecture. You are going to be looking at governance, risks, and compliance. We are looking at security operations, security engineering, and cryptography. And for, like I said, it is not for managers or for leaders. It is for cybersecurity technicians, advanced cybersecurity technicians, right? So if you've tried this exam, and if you've taken maybe Security Plus, you've taken CISA, if you try this, you see that this is a bit harder than, in terms of technical cybersecurity knowledge and skill, it is harder than CISA and CISM and the rest, right? And it really doesn't focus much on the leadership and managerial side of security, right? So it's for technical folks, advanced technical folks who are serving in the roles of security architect or technical lead or security engineer, senior security engineer, and the rest, who this is meant for them, right? Prerequisite, at least 10 years of basic hands-on IT experience or 5 years of broad hands-on cybersecurity or security experience. Now, the exams is 165 minutes, 90 multiple choice questions, and there is no score, right? You either pass or fail. So after the exams, it's pass or fail. They don't really, give you that score that you score maybe 750 or thereabout. Exams fee is 509, right? It's the most expensive in the Comptia list. Now, for job roles that you can have with this certification is security architect, security engineer, SOC manager, security risk analyst, chief information security officer, right? So with this chief information security officer, you might think that requires you to have some leadership and managerial skill, right? But this certification really is just testing your advanced technical skills. But still, you can work in this role. If you've been in the security space for 10 years, then at least you should you should have been in teams, and you should have at least managed a team or two, right? Now, the salary is 109, which I think is pretty low for this type of certification. But of course, this is not set in stone. It's the average salary for folks who are holding CAPS Plus, right? So Security Plus and Security Analyst is even making higher than this. And this is from Comptia. Like, these numbers are from Comptia. So it's not Dr. Edu making it up. Right now, the almighty Security Plus is the next in the list. So Security Plus is one of the widely held certifications out there. I think there are more people with Security Plus than any other certification, security certification out there. Now, Security Plus is good for people who are beginning their career in cybersecurity, right? Even if you've been in the security space for a while and you don't have it, it's good to sit for Security Plus. Like, Security Plus sets the foundation for everything that you are going to do in the security space, right? In terms of knowledge skill, Security Plus is where to start everything, right? So it covers general security concepts, security operations, threats, vulnerabilities, mitigations, and all that, right? Now, let's look at some the exams and all that. So for the exam, similar to the ones that we've looked at, you need 750 to pass out of a 900, and you have, I think, mostly 82 to 85 questions, and you have 100 and I think 65 minutes also as well. Now, the cost for these exams is 404, and some of the job titles security engineer, consultant, security consultant, pen tester, not so much, right? With this certification, you are not going to be a pen tester, right? Like this is all these are from Comptia, so probably with this together with Pentest Plus, that will cut it. But just with Security Plus, you are not going to be no pen tester, right? Security architect, web app pen test. So all these pen testing ones, disregard. Although this is from Comptia, I would say disregard, right? Security consultant, yeah, maybe security engineer, thereabout, right? Now salary is 121 average which is higher than CAPS Plus. Very surprising, right? Now, the next one we'll look at in the Comptia space is Pentest Plus. Now, Pentest Plus is at the same level as security analyst plus. Now, Pentest Plus is for anyone who wants to get into the pen testing space. And then also, even if you don't want to go into the pen testing space, I think for everybody who wants to be in the security space, mostly it's good to poke if you want to be on the blue side, it's good to poke, or peek into the red side also a little bit to see what is going on there, right? So for learning purposes, if you have time and the resources, I will pursue maybe Pentest Plus or CEH, right, in the future, right? Not when you are starting off. At least when you get into a space where you have some experience, you might want to also try the other side of security also as well to see what is going on in that space. So with the pen testing, Pentest Plus, this exams covers the following areas. So planning and scoping, reporting, communication, information gathering, vulnerability scanning, tools and code analysis, and attack and exploits, right? So this exam is just multiple choice, and then also with some performance-based as well. Prerequisite, there is really no prerequisite for this, although Comptia encourages you to at least to have taken Security Plus or have some equivalent experience, but really there's really no prerequisites before you can sit for this certification. Now, passing score for the exam is 750 out of 900. You have 165 minutes to answer 85 questions, and then you have the exams fee is 404, right? Now, for the Comptia exams, for anyone who is trying to take it, and for folks who have taken it, if you don't take care, what is going to make you not pass is not because you don't know your content, but if you spend too much time on the performance-based, right, you wouldn't have enough time to go through the multiple choice. So just be careful if you are taking it. Mostly with the performance-based, if you want, you can skip those and go into the multiple choice, finish that before you come back to the performance-based, or you can just do the performance-based as quickly as possible, answer it anyhow you deem fit for that time being, and then move on, and then always come back to it, right? You can always flag some of the questions and come back to it. So that is for Comptia. You can always go back to the questions. Now for CISSP and others, you can't go back to see your previous questions. So if you answer it, you just answer it and move on, right? So some of these exams, they're a bit tricky and interesting, right? So for Pentest Plus, some of the roles you can hold: penetration tester, web app tester, vulnerability analyst, security analyst, security consultant, security analyst, and salary is 109, kind of similar to the CAPS Plus. Now we are going to look at ISE Square, and then the last one we will look at is offensive security, and we'll wrap up for tonight. So ISE Square certifications, the only one that came up is CISSP. So for CISSP is the oldest cybersecurity certification around, right? They started way before everybody, and they call it, ISE Square calls it the golden standard, right? CISSP is one of also the hardest certifications to get, not because it is very technical or because it's difficult in terms of technicality, but it's because ISE Square, they are very, very good in tricking you when it comes to certain questions, right? So they will set the question, and it's very hard to find your answer within the question. That is what makes it difficult. Because, for example, if they set a question and they're asking you which of the following is the best way of maybe protecting your data. Best way, which is the best way, meaning all the ways are, all the list, everything in the list is good, which is the best. That is where it gets a bit tricky. And you have to look at it from the perspective of a leader within the organization, a manager, you know, in that space. So you have to look at it. If you're looking at it more of as a technical person, you're going to get it wrong. You have to look at it from a managerial leadership perspective. And that is what makes the exams a bit tricky, right? Even if you are very technical, you know your cybersecurity stuff, if you don't take care, you are going to fail this exam, right? It's very tricky. Now, ISACA, on the other hand, for CISA, for CISM, they are not really very sophisticated when it comes to certain questions that is going to trick you, right? That is not to say those exams are, you know, not as difficult, but as compared to CISSP, they are not as difficult in terms of how to easily find your answers in the questions, right? IS is where I'll give them that. Their stronghold is certain tricky questions. That is what makes CISSP very difficult, right, to earn. Now, for CISSP, if you get this, so mostly is 6 hours of exam, 250 questions, and the passing score is 700 out of 1,000, right? They have the computer-based. I think for the computer-based, you answer almost up to 100 questions within 3 hours, thereabout. I think when I took it, I took the manual, but it was still computer-based, but it was kind of manual. Mine was almost 6 hours. I took the 6 hours. That was a while ago. 6 hours, and that is brutal. I think I spent 4.5 hours, and I finished it. CISSP, yes, they will give you a run for your money. Now, for the exams domain, they have security. You are going to cover the following areas within the exam. So asset security, security architecture and engineering, communication security, network security, identity and access management, security assessment, testing, security operation, software development, and security and risk management, right? So they have 8 main domains that you are going to cover. And all these domains, you are looking at it, they are not very technical, but everything that is in there, you are looking at it from the perspective of a manager and a leader, right? So that is what makes it a bit tricky. So for folks who are very technical, they will sit for these exams and they are like, well, it is not that technical, it's easy. For those who are not very technical and but are very, you know, good on the leadership managerial aspect, they also say it's too technical, right? So it depends on where you are coming from to sit for this exam, right? Now, for the exams, the cost is 749 as of now. I'm not sure if that changed. And for the roles that you can hold, most of the leadership managerial roles you can hold with this certification. CISO, security admin, security architect, and the list goes on. There's about senior security analyst. For annual salary is 140. So 140. Some quarters, in some other, research and other studies out there, Security Plus can get you also 160, 170, right? So 140, not set in stone, but at least the average. Now, the last one that we will look at is offensive security. Now, if you are not also familiar with offensive security as a certification body, now you know. So offensive security, they are the owners of Kali Linux. For everybody on here who is familiar with Kali Linux, offensive security is the company that came up with Kali Linux, right? So Kali Linux has all the hacking tools in the world under one umbrella. So Kali Linux is an operating system. It's a Linux operating system that has all the hacking tools in the world, in there, right, under one umbrella. So mostly if you are doing penetration testing and ethical hacking and hacking, you are going to be using Kali Linux. And their rival is Parrot OS, right? So the two, but Kali Linux kind of came up with that before Parrot OS also came, kind of copying almost the same thing that they are doing. So for offensive security, aside the operating system, the open source operating system that they have, they also have their own certifications in the ethical hacking space, right? And that is what we are going to be looking at. So they have the OSCP. Now, if you want to be an ethical hacker, a real ethical hacker who knows his stuff, this is the challenge that you should take, right? So if you take offensive security certified professional and you pass, my hat goes off to you, because this exam is no joke and it's not multiple choice. You think you can hack? Okay, this is a virtual environment. These are your virtual vulnerable machines. Hack. That is it. Like, that is this exams literally. They give you 24 hours to go through, and they have the capture the flag exercises. So you are going to hack the system. There is a code that they've hidden on the desktop or somewhere on the system. You have to hack to the point where you're able to find it, and you are going to input it in their marking score. So you are going to put it in there, and if you capture the flag, you are going to put the flag in there. I think they have 5. Yes, they have. When I did it, they had 5 systems that you have to hack into, right? And they are 100 points, 20 for some of it, and then 10 for some of the machines, right? So it's a pretty interesting certification. And when once you are done, you have 24 hours to present your pen testing report as well. So it's pretty intense. Now, prerequisites, you have to take their course, the Offensive Security Penetration Testing course. That is the Linux or Pen 200 course. And once you've taken that course, you'll be able to sit for the exam. Now, the exam, like I said, they simulate a live network in a private VLAN. So you are going to log into using their VPN, and the vulnerable machines are in there. They give you the IP addresses, and you start attacking those machines, right? So if you are successful and you are able to discover the flag, you are going to note that down for all, and you have 24 hours. And breaks, you can take breaks in between the 24 hours. So it's continuous hacking for 24 hours. You can take breaks in between, as many as you want. And also, this is you have like somebody watching you through their camera the whole time, right? It is protected. So there's somebody watching you the whole time. So there's no cheating, or you cannot move for somebody to come and sit and do it for you, right? And what is even the sense in somebody doing this for you, right? So the last thing you want to do is to be parading this certification and not knowing how to, hack into anything, right? So the cost for this is 1,500, including the training and also for the exam. If you fail the exam, then you have to pay not 1,500, maybe a little bit less for a rewrite. And for the exams, like I was saying, you have 5 systems to hack into. And if you're able to hack into all of it, you get 100 points. And then you do your report. The report is also as equally important as doing the hacking. So as you're hacking, you are keeping notes and taking screenshots of everything that you are doing. Once you're done, you are going to use that to do the report, right? You have 24 hours after the end of your 24 hours to do the report. So if you didn't take enough rest and you didn't sleep, then you probably have to fix your sleep in between the next 24 hours and still do the report and submit it, right? So this will be the end of the certifications. Now, in terms of salary, it's 132 for OSCP, right? And some of the roles that you can hold, all the pen testing roles, malware analyst, forensics, security specialist, penetration tester, security engineer, security code auditor, security consultant. You can hold any of those roles as well, right? Now, not limited to this, you can do beyond what we have listed here. But this is at least the starting point. So with that, we are wrapping up. So I think for the list that we went through, it was 12 of the certifications. CISM holds I think based on that research that we made to come up with this, CISM kind of holds the title, right? So, but like I said, having it doesn't automatically, grant you that money. You have to prove yourself and show that you have the skills and knowledge to back it up, right? So we are going to go through real quick and give a shout out to everybody from where they are joining us from. So Nicole from Atlanta, Elicum, Illinois, Maryland, Maryland, Lord, London. Thank you for joining this midnight thereabout, early in the morning in London. Rainy from Virginia, Elijah from New York, New Jersey, Walt, Christian from Boston, PA Kurt. Thank you all looking through Missouri, Dion. Okay, Glassdoor, Petros, Beatrice from Maryland, Michael from Atlanta, Canada, Julius, Dallas, Mr. Clinton, Dallas, Massachusetts, John, Felix, Dallas, a lot of Texas and Dallas. Okay, in there. Miami, Florida, Precious, London, Ronald, Abina, Frederickson, Maryland, Frederick, Maryland, New Jersey, no, North Carolina, China, Osai, and from Texas, Michael, Canada, Jamal, Chicago, South Carolina, Wellen, T. Daniels from New York, Sandra, New Jersey, L. Clark, Minneapolis, and we have Malachi, Ohio, Dria, Ohio, Indiana, Orland, Ajwa, New Jersey, Leslie, New York, Ransford, Dallas, Texas, Mava, Atlanta, Sandra. Okay, Sandra didn't put in where she's joining us from. I appreciate everybody for putting that in there. And also, please be on the lookout. Our live events, we are picking our location from this. Like I said last week, we have 3 shortlisted. So coming to you soon. We are going to announce our location for our live events. So now, WhatsApp group, please do join our YouTube channel. We are shooting for 300K tonight. Hopefully by the end of the weekend, we will be at 300K. And for entry level, for everybody who is looking to get with no background in cybersecurity or IT, our cybersecurity entry level course is your best bet to break into the cybersecurity space. It comes with 2 months of internship, intense training on its own with everything that you need to set you up for success to be able to work fully as a cybersecurity professional, and a lot of support, right? A lot of support from us and then also from the community. Also for our PCI class, we are starting on the 26th is where our new cohort is going to begin. And this is a very robust course, the best PCI class that is out there. If you want to, create a niche for yourself in the cyberspace, this is the way to go. And for attendance, we were at the highest 130. And then also on YouTube, the attendance on YouTube, I didn't get yet, but also a good number on YouTube as well. So I appreciate everybody's time. And tomorrow we are starting our new cohort for the cybersecurity internship. If you've not received the email, please shoot us a text or send us an email. We will forward the link to you for us to join us tomorrow morning. And if you've not signed up, it's not late. You can still sign up. Tomorrow is going to be meet and greet, the main projects we are going to start next week. So you are welcome to join us on our GRC journey, our GRC internship that we are going to have. Now the floor is open for questions, and we are going to wrap up for tonight. I appreciate everybody's time. So the link for our WhatsApp group and for our free training and the rest is also going to be posted in the chat. So as we wait for questions and inputs and comments from the group, please raise your virtual hand if you have a question and we can take your question. Go ahead, Malachi.
Yes, I noticed on your website that you do offer assistance for the CISSP exam. Could you talk a little bit about that, what that entails?
Okay, so for the CISSP is a training to help you pass the CISSP exam, right? So it focuses on just CISSP. So
I was just curious on kind of is it similar to are there any assignments given to kind of help with that, or is it just more like training based?
Yeah, so training based, you are going to go through all the content that is covered in the CISSP exam, right? So we take you through all the content, break it down, and then you do some practice exam after each module, right? So after each module or each knowledge of body of knowledge that you're going to go through, you are going to go through some quizzes, and then after that we move on to the next, right? So the goal is to give you the knowledge and skill needed to pass CISSP, and then make sure that you pass CISSP. So everybody who was taking that, they've all gone through this and passed CISSP in one try.
Good to know. Thank you, sir.
All right. So all the information has been posted in the chat. So you can please go ahead, make an appointment if you are totally new and you want to, have a plan into getting into cybersecurity. You can make a one-on-one appointment, and we'll help guide you through as well. That has been posted in the chat. And if there are any questions, please bring it up before we wrap up for tonight. And for if you are new to the family, we appreciate your time. We hope you were able to gain something new or learn something at least about certifications and the different organizations that come up with these certifications. And for us, we have on our website, Eretmis Academy, we have 2 free trainings on there. Cybersecurity for beginners, if you're totally new. It gives you a very good exposure into the cybersecurity space. And then also PCI for beginners, or payment security compliance for beginners. It also exposes you to the PCI space as well, right? So I appreciate everybody's time. We are wrapping up for tonight. If there are no questions, we'll meet again next week, same time for Cyber Chat. And I can promise you it's still going to be informative, and we are all going to learn and share in the knowledge in the security space. So if there are no more questions in the chat, I don't think there was any in the chat. So with that, we will wrap up for tonight.
Hello, Doctor. Hello, Doctor.
Yeah, go ahead, Olan.
Yeah, please. When is the next class for the entry level for the cybersecurity?
So entry level 28th is when we are starting the new cohort. 28th of this month.
Okay, 28th of this month is the next okay, for the entry course, right?
Yes, for the entry level. Yes.
Okay. So, and how much is this, sir?
As the entry level is 5,500.
Okay, sir.
Yes, and we have different payment options all on the website.
Okay, sir.
All right, Jamal, please go ahead. And
yes, Dr. Du, I want to know when is the next course for the CBOT start?
Oh, the CBOT, probably next month. So the CBOT, for everybody who is not aware, is the Cybersecurity Business Owner Training. So it's a training. We started with our first cohort. We train you to become a cybersecurity business owner. So from zero, how to start your company and all the financial requirements and everything that you need to be able to specialize in the cyberspace as a business owner. We do take you through that also as well. So next month is going to be in a new cohort, Jamal.
Okay, at the beginning of the month, I'm trying to time it because
second week.
Second week in May.
In April. April, yes. Second week in April.
All right, thank you.
All right, everyone. I appreciate everybody's time. Have a great weekend. We will meet again next week for another edition of Cyber Chat. Have a wonderful weekend and stay safe.
You too. Take care.
Thanks, Dr. Du.
Thank you, Doctor.